Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Randy Kamarasuriya from Public Lecture Organizing Committee of Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee of Institute of Engineers, Sri Lanka. It's a great pleasure to see all of you who joined this online platform with us today for the public lecture on industrial safety procedures in high-risk machinery, organized by Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee in collaboration with IMechE Sri Lanka Group. In order to formally welcome all of you and introduce the presenter today, I cordially invite past President of IESL, Engineer Chula De Silva. Engineer Chula De Silva, the screen is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome all of you to this joint lecture organized by the Sri Lanka Group of the Institution of Mechanical Engineers UK together with the Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. Today we are privileged to have with us a very competent and interesting speaker, Engineer Lakshman Gracias Jans. He is the Additional General Manager Additional Commissioner General of Labour Engineering, Head of Engineering and Industrial Safety Division, Department of Labour, Colombo. He is a Fellow of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and a member of the Institute of Industrial Engineers USA. Engineer Jans graduated with a BSc Engineering at the Faculty of Engineering, University of Moratuwa in 1985, specializing in the field of mechanical engineering. On graduation in 1985, he joined the Industrial Safety Division of the Department of Labour under the Ministry of Labour and held the positions as Factory Inspecting Engineer, District Factory Engineer, Specialist Factory Inspecting Engineer, Acting Deputy Commissioner of Labour, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, that is NIOSH, Deputy Commissioner of Labour Technical and Deputy Chief Factory Inspecting Engineer, Commissioner of Labour Covering Up, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, and Commissioner of Labour Industrial Safety and Chief Factory Inspecting Engineer and Additional Commissioner General of Labour Engineering. He joined the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka as an associate member in 1986 and went on to become a corporate member and chartered engineer in 1993 and followed it up with a fellowship member as a fellow member in 2012. He has written an energy audit article and more than 20 such articles for on safety engineering articles for the Sri Lanka Labour Gazette and the IESL newsletter. He has undergone training and fellowship in Japan, Switzerland, South Korea, Fiji, Thailand, Malaysia and India. He is an OSHA's 18001 Safety Management System Auditor and qualified in Fiji in Industrial Safety and Health Consultant. I now have the pleasure to invite Engineer Jans to conduct his presentation. Welcome, Mr. Jans. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Chula De Silva. I have to thank you for inviting me to deliver this lecture. Actually, you are the person who started this program, and also I have to thank for the IESL for what you call all the facilities they are provided. Anyway, this lecture earlier I have done in ISL 2017, maybe 3 hours. Today no time because you are very much interested about the IPL starting 7:30. Therefore, we hope to stop 7:30. Before that, I will give at the end of the lecture to ask questions to you. Yeah, yes, according to the time allocation. Okay, anyway, we will start as engineer Chula De Silva, very senior person. He's the person selected this topic. I normally conduct about more than 27 lectures in Peradeniya, Morocco and Kadubed and Jayawardhanapura SLT campus. Therefore, the topic is the Chula De Silva engineer selected is industrial safety procedures in high-risk machinery, including boiler. If you analyze the word here, industrial, actually Chula De Silva correctly selected this word industrial and safety. If you analyze these two words here, right, we will see the industry. If you go to the industry, if you consider the industry means it's a workplace, it's not a what you call playground or the what you call Peradeniya or the Hagala garden. Industry means itself, the word itself. If you analyze the word, you see in means you are going for the work. Itself, the word itself, you can see the dust is there. In dust, if you take whole word industry, this is concept. So maybe your company or your workplace is not a what you call the garden, flower garden. It's a workplace. You have hazard there. If you go to the workplace only, you expose that hazard. That is called you are taking a chance. That's called risk. Therefore, you have to identify first the hazard. What are the hazard in your workplace? And you have to, for evaluation, you have to assess it and you have to manage it. That's the word actually the engineer Chula De Silva selected, the industrial, and the other one industrial procedure, right? Okay, if you do the industry, not only the hazards, not in the when you consider the boiler, you are using the lining material to prevent the what you call heat dissipation, that you use the asbestos. You can see in the picture, later you can download this one in the internet. In the asbestos also the dust, the micron level, normally we say 0.5 to 5 micron, the range is affecting your body or the lungs. And the asbestos also, you have problem, maybe you have to think that. But we have to go to the next slide now to explain the industrial safety. Here, not only the safety actually, if you take the safety, if you if you don't obey the safety rules, your health will be affected. That means your welfare, that's psychology part. We say safety, health, welfare under the factories ordinance. This is called OHS, occupational health and safety, or the industrial safety and health. Then that means you can take it this way. Actually, it's engineering, medicine, psychology. 3 parts. Safety is engineering, health is your medicine or the right, and these are major 3 fields. Psychology also there. If you violate the safety or the health, your psychology will be affected. That means your mentality will be affected because of the environment or the air you inhale, the lighting, or there are about 5 hazards: physical hazards, chemical hazards, biological hazards, and the ergonomical hazards, and psychosocial hazards. There are about 5 hazards. For that, if you take I am utilizing this one slide 3 concept here: safety, health, welfare. The concept here, safety, if you take, you need if you take the first letter S, skill, to understand engineering, and the practice, you need the skill. And therefore, I don't have the other letters to explain. You can read it here. Similarly, health, hygiene, that means environment, your hygiene, in Sinhala call it swastava. Welfare, the well-being. All what you do here, This what we are considering in the factories ordinance for the employees' rights. We call human rights, or the minimum your rights, whatever it is, right? Let's start for some technical problem here. Anyway, we have to just for a minute. The word, if you take this, please go one time, 1 minute, because the sites are not moving here. I don't know why. Yes. What we say here, safety is a right, not a privilege. It's a right, right? In Sinhala we call it your bage aitivasika. Safety is a birthright of workers. You can understand the word. I need not to give the meaning. Safe. Our slogan is safe workplace for healthy life to live happily. What we do all these things to give the information actually to the employee has to be safeguarded, live happily to come for work for the next day for a sustainable development for the economic development of the country. If you consider this concept, the skill or the knowledge or the hard work or the attitude to achieve this what you call safety, you have to change your attitude. That's really about attitude. If you consider, it's also one concept. If A equal 1, B or Z is 26. If you what you call substitute the attitude only 100%. That means the attitude here, you see nearly about more than 100 participants. You see the industrial safety procedure. Because of the engineer Chula de Silva, more than 100 participants are, your attitude is to consider about your safety or your employee safety, because you are a responsible person. Maybe workers are working under you. Therefore, skill 82%, knowledge 96%. If you do hard work, you can achieve a 98%. But if you change your attitude only, you can achieve the maximum, or you can go to the top. Safety culture, what we want, that's why we want to practice here in Sri Lanka. This is lagging. Establish accountability, Vagavi, right? Define safety responsibilities. You have responsibilities. Safety is everybody's business. We can't say the employees. Always we can't blame the employer or the union or the management. All tripartite actually. Therefore, here you can see here, this is the safety. But we are here reactive in Sri Lanka. If accident happen, only we investigate and we analyze. But we have to go to the what you call proactive. That means we have to, before accident come, we have to be proactive. We have to prevent it, forecast it. But we now suggest whatever the machine or you produce as engineers, most of you are engineers, you manufacture, or when you design itself, you have to inbuilt safety should be there. Inherent, that means inherent safety, you have to adapt it when you what you call manufacturing, or when in your design, right? Anyway, right, we'll go to the next slide here. In here, this all I said safety, health, welfare under the factories ordinance. This is the legislation available in Sri Lanka at present. Actually, in 1942, this factories ordinance, the British brought here at that time, 1942, British ruled Sri Lanka. They brought at that time in British UK, they brought it here 1942. But at that time, the Parliament, they didn't accept it. 1946 amendment came. We have the power, we call appointed date. This factory ordinance is appointed in Sri Lanka 1950 only. The industrial safety division, established, and all the powers given to the chief factory inspecting engineer or the commissioner of labor. Now it's become additional commissioner general. In this law, directly I am responsible. Under me, a chief factory inspecting engineer, the commissioner, they are working under me. And there are specialists, there are all over the island. We have network 10 district factory inspecting engineers to look after the violations. What are the violations? But what I said earlier is the statutory law of the country to look after safety, health, welfare of the employed people at work. To look after their rights. Violation, accidents, dangerous occurrences, and industrial diseases. I have to go quickly. 8 million, this is the very important factor here. You have to consider 8 million workforce in Sri Lanka, average of 96 million work days lost per year. This is for economic point of view. When you take statistics, you have to think about, because of this OHS related accidents and you are violating safety related losses. This is affecting our economy, right? Therefore, we have to adopt best practices. As Engineer Chula D. Silva selected, we have giving this awareness, education, training, and motivation. This is some sort of motivation to change attitude to prevent the accidents or the violations. That means promotion of OHS, occupational safety and health, or the industrial safety, is a major driving factor in national economic development. If the one country want to develop, this is a major factor, because this is hidden. This all accidents are, when you analyze only, when you go to the website only, you can get these details. Otherwise, nobody bother about our 8 million people, but 96 million work days lost. You see the accidents, the boiler explosion in Demodra 2011. This also what you call the acetylene gas cylinder burst, explosion in the what you call brain come out, and boiler explosion at Kadurvela. Actually, this happened in Polonnaruwa, skyrocketed to Kadurvela. You know the distance between Polonnaruwa and Kadurvela, nearly more than 2 kilometers. It skyrocketed. That means over the sky is went to the paddy field. You may wonder why this boiler in the paddy field, marshy land, right? This went and fallen to the what you call the marshy land. I will go to the what you call the explain. I will explain during my I will show the from 1985 what are the accidents happens in Sri Lanka, right? And this is very important here. Boiler failure history of Sri Lanka. In the industrial safety procedure in high risk machinery, we are talking today only the boiler, right? There are about 5 pressure vessels are there, pressure vessels, feed and a barge. We call steam boiler, steam receiver, air receiver, gas holders. And we talk only today about steam boiler because time is limited. Because you see for last 15 years, that means from 2005, 12 boiler failure during the last, reported to industrial safety division of the Department of Labor. Only this one reported only, right? When you analyze it, 9 of them are from rice mill, tea factories 2, confectionery, you know the biscuits or confectionery, cake, that's 1. Then total altogether 12. This is reported only. This non-reported, it won't come to our records or the statistics. Cause of failure, this is very important. As engineers, you people are engineers, they say in Sri Lanka, low water to unskilled operator. The operator don't have the license or the unskilled. That's 2 causes. And the defective safety valve 1, backfire. You may be wondering why backfire. Will show in Sevagama rice mill. When I was in Anuradhapura, we were looking after 5 districts. 97 started the office, they are district engineer. And this is Polonnaruwa, Sevagama, the backfire. I will show the pictures. And other one here, electrocution, erection failure. That means when installing the boiler, they install in a paddy field. That means a marshy land. That will explain. I will unidentified. This is cause couldn't identify. There may be reason. Normally in the world, they say about 80% boiler failures are due to low water. But there is a saying here, boiler is nothing, only the maintenance and the water treatment. If you want to, you have to maintain it. It's also similar to the design, manufacture. The material also very important. Material in the sense, you see, it should be American Society of Mechanical Engineers. They are defined that the code is the American code. Similarly, every country has a code. According that, Sri Lanka also has a boiler code. According to that material, you have to design the manufacture the boiler. You see that if you take this picture, it's a small boiler, right? This says 150 psi, and that is design pressure. Operating pressure, the operating pressure should be less than that, and you have to think what is then will be the safety pressure, safety valve pressure. You have to think it. We will discuss during the discussion. And you see, this is the 3-pass fire tube boiler, right? 3-pass fire tube boiler, and you can see there's 1, 2, and 3. It goes out, right? And this is oil fire, right? And similarly, you go to our legislation, right? This is our legislation in Sri Lanka. I said the factories ordinance, high-risk machineries are coming under, and this should be tested, and you have to maintain a certificate covered by section 27. If you download the factories ordinance from the internet, and 27 to 29 is what all talked about the lifting machinery. 34 to 38, they talked about the, is mentioned about the pressure vessel. Under the factories ordinance in part 3, safety general provisions in Sri Lanka legislation, the 8 categories of high risk machineries under the factories ordinance shall be thoroughly examined. This thoroughly examined, to be very careful, and certified, and test certificates entered in or attached to the general register available in the factory. Therefore, you should know every factory should maintain a general register records. Here, test certificate. These machinery only, pressure vessels only, and the lifting machines should be tested, and certificate should be maintained. But if you take the pedestal grinder, also you can take it as a high risk, but you won't test it. You need not to get the certificate from the chartered engineer or the authorized person. Anyway, we will go to the next slide to explain the other the balance. Then you can understand this one. High risk machinery. It explains actually the hoist and lift, section 27 of the factories ordinance, chain, ropes and lifting tackle, section 28, cranes and other lifting, section 29. We talk today in the red, steam boilers, only section 34. Steam receivers, steam container. You may be, you can take it this way: steam header or a pressure cooker. Maybe in the confectionery. If it is more than 1 atmosphere, it is pressure vessel. More than atmospheric pressure means pressure vessel. Section 35. We don't have time to talk these. We will talk the other day, some other day, right? Right. This therefore we have 2 categories: pressure vessels and lifting machines. Here, this is very important. Here, according to our legislation, my part will be legislative part here. But background. I have to talk here. Periodic test requirement under factories ordinance number 4092 and subsequent amendment. Therefore, to go quickly to that, it says there are, you may be knowing this, there are fired and non-fired. Fired and non-fired. Boiler is the only one fired vessel. Fired, right? The non-fired, steam receiver and air receiver, gas, they are non-fired. Right? That should be tested. Authorized person. They are appointed by the Industrial Labor Department to test. That means Industrial Safety Division, test and certified. The steam boiler, I said section 34, periodic test 12 months. Every 12 months, it's a mandatory. It's a legal requirement. Every 12 months, you have to test it and you have to maintain the certificate attached to the general register, and 1 copy should be near the steam boiler to see the actual pressure of the boiler and what is the maximum permissible working pressure. The boiler, you have business with the steam, you are directly business with the steam, therefore it's called maximum permissible working pressure. That is the term UK they use, but USA they use maximum allowable. The permissible become allowable. Maximum allowable working pressure, the USA they use. that is 12 months, right? This is the period is minimum, but steam receiver 24 months, section 35 says, and steam 24 months, because it is not a fire environment, right? Therefore, steam receiver 24 months, we have to test it and you have to have the certificate. Air receiver 24 months, if it is welded or riveted, but if it's a solid drawn, you know solid drawn, but I need not to explain, you are, most of you are mechanical, there is no actually the what you call welded or riveted what you call joints there. Therefore, 48 months. You see the risk is less. If it is solid drawn means less risk. Therefore, the time periods more time period. If the risk is less, hazard is less, then less risk, then the period more. Then you need to every 12 months you need to test the air receiver if it is solid drawn. Gas receiver again 12 months. So gas, you are the business with the gas. It's like steam. Then 12 months. The steam and the gas are the only two major. You have to consider every 12 months. You have to test it. Gas holders, that means above the water, and that the period 24 months. The section 20, what you call 38, and the one lifting machines. Today we are not talking today. That is only competent person can test and certify. If you are a chartered engineer, we can say you are a competent. You should know, are you competent or not to test the boiler or a lifting machines. We will talk this lifting machine some other day. Today we are running short of time, right? And I said the authorized person we appoint, we call interview, and you also, if you are competent, right? If you know I am a competent person, right? Then therefore you can what you call, you can apply for that. You can apply it and try. Come for the interview. It says an authorized person appointed by the Industrial Safety Division of the Department of Labor. List of authorized person available at the Industrial Safety Division, number 97, Javath Road, number 5. Therefore, you can get that who are the engineers qualified and they are appointed as an authorized person, right? They have the power to test and certify the boiler. Then competent person also here. Then ensure that the person carrying out a thorough examination has such appropriate practical and theoretical knowledge and experience of the lifting equipment to be thoroughly examined as will enable them to detect defects or weaknesses and to assess their importance in relation to the safety and continued use of the lifting equipment. This mostly talk about the lifting machines. Therefore, this competent person, the picture come here, because if you want to test the lifting machine, crane or the hoist or lift or elevator or the what you call the chain ropes, chains, you should be a competent person, right? And thorough examination. It says what is thorough examination. You can go through it with running short of time. Then what is testing also mentioned here. This also defined in UK, but not defined in our factories ordinance. Our legislation, we have not yet defined who are the competent person, how the thorough examination, what is the testing. This all mentioned in the UK, but not defined in Sri Lanka. We will come to the steam boiler now, because today my topic is steam boiler. It says under the section 34 of the factories ordinance, our legislation, this definition, it says any closed vessel in which for any purpose, maybe you using for what you call fire boiling, or in your pressure cooker, or in your confectionery, or we say here in Sri Lanka we mostly use low pressure and medium pressure boiler. In the rice mill mostly we use low pressure boiler. The other tea factory and desiccated mills, we use the boiler low pressure and the medium pressure. But if you go to the Norachole power plant, it's a power boiler. There are 3 power boilers in Norachole, and we call high pressure and high temperature. You know that when the pressure increase, automatically temperature reasons according to the nature, and if you go to the steam table, you can find it. Any closed in which for any purpose steam is generated under pressure greater than atmospheric pressure. Then 1 atmosphere, it's come here, the picture. The pressure is more than 1 atmosphere. It should be tested according to our law, and includes any hot water boiler. Hot water coming to the picture. I didn't talked about earlier about the hotel. Hotel, they mostly use the hot water for their purposes. Maybe washing the rooms for your bathing or the daily use at a temperature not less than 100. Then it should be 110 or 100 more than 110 centigrade only should be tested in Sri Lanka. Degree centigrade, any economizer used to heat the water fed into the such vessel, and any superheater. The mostly economizer and the superheater come with the pressure boiler, right? You have to preheat the water to take to the feed water to some elevated temperature to fed into the boiler. Otherwise, boiler will be boiler hammer will come. There will be a problem to the boiler. This is called load. Load will be increased. They have to preheat the water. That's called economizer. You can preheat the oil. That is separate. Preheat the air also. Similarly, after saturated steam, this boiler produces only the saturated steam, low pressure boiler. But the high pressure boiler, you need the super steam. That means superheated boiler. The superheat, that means saturated steam to be heated again. That is called superheater. Therefore, in the high pressure boiler, there are 4 parts coming here, right? When boiler, when cold, when steam pressure, and economizer, and the what you call superheater. I will come to that later. It will come in here. These are the accessories, safety accessories in boiler: pressure gauge and test connections. You need test connection to test your pressure gauge should be guaranteed whether it's what you call this pressure gauge, right? It's operate, the pressure is actual pressure. For that you need a test connection. Safety valve, blow down valve, drum level water gauge glasses, stop valve in steam line, stop and check valve. Now you can see there are about 1, 2, 4, 5. More than that also maybe, right? Therefore, normally the boiler in Sri Lanka, in Sinhala they say පැසවනය. වතුර පැසවනවා කියලා තමයි ආදි කාලේ කිව්වේ, right? පැසවනය. පස්වනය සිදුරු 5කට වැඩිය තියෙනවා, right? That it says this all you need a what you call hole to put up safety valve or the test connection, pressure, blow down valve, they all are siduru. Okay, right? Therefore, paswane, vane means hole, right? Similarly, to remember it, pasavane, right? Most of those maybe knowing that word. In Sinhala we call it boiler as is pasavane, right? Vatura pasavana කියලා තමයි දෙමළෙන් කියන්නේ කොදිච්ච වෙනවා කියලා, right? Okay, right. Right. Now you see boiler explosion. The problem is here, why we are having this lecture here. Boiler, because of boiler explosion, I joined from University of Moratuwa directly to Department of Labor, Industrial Safety in 1985. From 1985 to up to now, we have all the what you call boiler explosion, the photographs, but I am afraid I don't have time to show all. Therefore, selected only important cases only will be, I will show you. I told you normally there are boiler explosion is a catastrophic failure of a boiler. Two kinds we call overpressure and the explosion in the furnace, right? In this overpressure in the pressure parts of the steam and the water side, explosion in the furnace. We don't have time to read all these things. You can go read it later. Anyway, I will go to the other slide, then you will understand what is boiler, right? It says hot water or steam under pressure is usable for transferring the heat This is the mainly boiler heat transfer. The water is a very cheap medium, therefore transferring the heat to process. Water is a useful and cheap medium for transferring heat to process, right? When water is boiled into steam, its volume increases about 100 and 1600. This is the very important factor here. You have to remember, from 100 degree centigrade or 212 degree Fahrenheit water, right, become 100 degree steam, right? Saturated steam, that is latent heat come into picture. 100 degree water to 100 degree steam, right? 100 degree saturated water becomes saturated steam. 1600 you need the volume. You understand what is the pressure power? 2.74 megajoules per kilogram. 1 kilogram of water become 1 kilogram of saturated steam, right? It gives 2.74 megajoules per 1 kilogram of water. Is that only 1 kilogram of water in the boiler? It's a mini boiler. Minimum they have nearly 22.75 the IBR. According to IBR, if it is more than 22.75 liter, they call it's a boiler. Less than that, nearly we can say about 45, 22.75, 2.2 at a multiply by 1 kilogram equal to 2.2 and nearly about 45 to 50. Less than 40 or 40, 50 is we call mini boiler. More than 22.75 liter we call boiler. Is defined as a boiler. Therefore, whatever it is, all producing from water to steam, right? Then 1 kilogram of, this is a thumb rule, right? Water become steam, right? You need 1600 time volume. You need to, the material should be withstand. That is the problem in Sri Lanka. The most of the manufactured boiler they are producing people, they produce the boiler by the mild steel. It's not the carbon steel, or earlier we call it boiler steel. Actually, boiler steel, it has tensile strength and what you call the necessary safety factor, whatever it is, they are the material, it's a metrology there to withstand this much of 1600 pressure increase should be withstand. Then only it won't explode. That's all. Producing a force that is almost as explosive as gunpowder, then they become a bomb. And normally we call boiler is a bomb. That we have to be very careful. You have to handle it. Normally we call as a thumb rule, 1 kilogram of water when becomes steam, it can lift 1000 kilogram of weight to 1000 kilometer. That much of energy it has. That means 1 kilogram enough to destroy the maybe about your small building. 1 kilogram enough. Therefore, to be very carefully, you have to handle it. This caused the boiler to be extremely dangerous. Equipment that must be treated with utmost care. That's why perfectly Engineer Chula de Silva selected this topic. This is very much what you call interested, and you people as an engineer you should know, right? This is the one is explains here, right? And here boiler means any closed vessel exceeding 22.5 liter, more than nearly if you multiply 2.2, nearly 5 gallon, right? According to the IBR, right? Therefore, we have to proceed. If I try to read all these things, you may sleepy. Therefore, I will go quickly to show the pictures. You see the boil explosion is a kind of boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. You know, superheated steam means what you call you can't see it, right? Dryness fraction come to the picture. Dryness, if it is no, the percentage of wet is reduced only, it can send it to the turbine, to the what you call power boiler. Otherwise, turbine blade will all corrode. It called erosion, corrosion, and all because of the moisture. You have to reduce the moisture. For that, you can see here, boil explosions are particularly devastating. Huge amount of energy, okay, huge of energy stored in the heated liquid water. A basic fire tube boiler operating 50 psi, nearly 3 to 4 bar, nearly 3.5, less than 4 bar, for 14.5 kilogram per centimeter square, right, equal to 1 bar. So pounds per square inch equal to 1 bar. 1 kilogram per centimeter square equal 1 bar. Kilogram per centimeter square, we call it 1 bar, equal to 14.5 pounds per square inch, right? This is 340 kilopascals. This is the pressure, right? Nearly here, it's about less than 4 bar, right? Contains water at a temperature of roughly 150 degrees centigrade. This 300 degree Fahrenheit, right? Checking against the steam table. I told you you can download the steam table from the internet and see water will increase 2.74 megajoules, 1 kilogram of water, 1 kilogram of saturated steam, right? 2.74 mega, that means 2740 kilojoules. Kilojoules mean Newton meter, the force, right? As it flashes to steam, water become flashing steam, right, and condense. You see, water flashing steam and condense. Again, this is 66% of the energy per kilogram, which TNT bomb released when detonated. If you are in Sri Lanka before 2009 here, there are about TNT bomb, lot of TNT bomb exploded in Sri Lanka. LTT people, they exploded even Colombo Fort. They fortunately, we may be knowing that locomotive boilers are we call more than 1,000 liter. Then if you multiply it by 2.7, what happened? 1 liter become mass equal volume density. The water density is 1, mass become volume. Then this volume is you have to multiply by 2.2, 2.74. Then how much? You know the picture, right? Then I need not to explain that. Therefore, those things, what you call mathematics, if I try to explain those things, we don't have time. Therefore, here, firebox explosions, right? And this LEL is very important, right? Low explosive limit and steam explosion. We will come to that when you go through the picture, what you call, see the picture here. This one is very important here, right? Then what are the tests to be done, right? What are the tests to be done? What are the tests to be done in the according to the factory's ordinance? Boiler examination and test reports. Cold condition, I told you the form 2, the factory's ordinance 2. If you download the factory's ordinance, you go to labordepartment.gov.lk website. The Labor Department website, you have divisions or the legislations. Under legislation, you can download Practice Ordinance 2. You can get this Form 2, cold condition. This when the boiler is in normal condition. That means before heating the boiler. That is, you have to test as it is. Visual test, hammer test. You walk around the boiler. You have to see it. As a qualified person, if you are a qualified mechanical chartered engineer, if you work with the boiler more than 1 year, you know what is the cold condition. And under normal steam pressure, this is when the steaming. When the boiler steaming, we normally call the boiler, how do you going to specify the boiler? You have to say the steaming capacity of the boiler, right? And the pressure, you have to give the pressure, steaming capacity and the pressure or the load, then only that is normal specification. I will show the picture, then you will understand. This is for a normal low pressure or the medium pressure boiler. But if you go to the power boiler, high pressure boilers, I told you, economizer form 3 to be tested, but the boilers, you cannot be operate before firing. Economizer when cold. Superheater when cold, if the economizer or the superheater, you can't go closer to that to test during the after firing. Therefore, this all done when it is cold condition before firing. You see that. Therefore, if you are going to test the power boiler, form 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 4 forms to be filled under the factory one. This all you can download from the factory 2. But if it's a normal low pressure boiler, but they are using rice mill or the tea factory, that is form 2 and form 5 enough, because there is no superheater there. You maybe visualize that if you the superheater there, you can't get the tea or the rice. It all superheated and all evaporated and goes. You won't get the rice or the tea there, right? It won't be there. Therefore, then who should attend the boiler? Who should attend the boiler? Should be a qualified, trained person. This is lagging in Sri Lanka. And the testing, those who are testing up to now, we were stopped all those earlier appointed people. Most of them are not qualified. Therefore, the regulations came last year, passed by the parliament. There are 5 regulations passed by the parliament under the factories ordinance. The boiler authorized person appointed under the regulations, newly we appointed after the last September, the passed by the parliament, March up to this year, March, 6-month time is given to appoint new people. Now we are appointing a new people according to the rules and regulations. The rules and regulations are boiler authorized person should have the mechanical engineering degree, basically qualified, or the ISL qualified. That means our in Sri Lanka, the engineering service board, they what you call accept, recognize as the ISL qualified means that is BS engineering minimum qualification. Mechanical, they can apply. Even the chartered engineer also they can apply. Electrical people also can apply. They should have the what you call qualification. They work with the boiler. Those for the boiler authorized person. But here, the authorized person appoint the boiler attendant. That is the very dangerous point here. Until such time, up to the new regulations come passed by the parliament, most of these boiler attendants are issuing death certificate because the boiler explosions happening. Therefore, we went parliament and we stopped all, and we are appointing new qualified people, those who have the only working experience, only work with the boiler, they entered the boiler, and those only people are appointed. Therefore, then now you can see that this boiler authorized person appoint the boiler attendant. Boiler should be attended by a person holding a boiler attendant certificate of competency issued by him, by an authorized person. Therefore, very much we have the responsibility to appoint a qualified person as the authorized person. The authorized person has the most important responsibility and accountability here to appoint a qualified person for a boiler operator. For a low pressure, medium pressure, no problem. But if you go to the high pressure boiler, it is very much to be considered. Therefore, we go to the next slide and see how it goes, right? Then you see the boiler attendant is, we call it up to 2,000 pounds per hour. If the boiler steaming, the boiler producing, generating, we can't say produce, generating steam, that's called 2,000 pounds per hour. Per hour, 2,000 pounds steam they are generating. Nearly 900 kilograms per hour. That is called class 3 boiler, or a steaming capacity not exceeding 2,000. Then class 3 boiler attendant can be appointed, right? For that he need 1 year experience, work with the boiler or the class 3 boiler attendant. We have to the trainee or the employee to be work with the 1 year to to get the class 3 certificate. If you want to get the class 2 certificate, that is steaming capacity up to 6,000. That means 9 into 3, 2,700 kilogram nearly, right? 6,000. Less than, steaming capacity is less than 6,000 pounds per hour means nearly 2,700 kilogram per hour, right? That is called nearly medium or the medium pressure boiler, right? It is more than 6,000 pounds per hour, more than 2,700 kilogram steaming capacity. I said we what do you call, when the specification, the boiler, we normally call steaming capacity we needed. Similarly for the safety valve also, when you are selecting safety valve, the steaming capacity is very much mandatory. You have to consider that. You have to select according to the maximum steaming capacity of the boiler. The safety valve should be more than that, can what do you call, it can put out to the this one, class 1, class 2, class 3, how the boiler attendant comes. And it says we have a what do you call, 1965 we have a gazette notification, right? According to that, to appoint a class 3 boiler attendant, up to 2000, I already mentioned, 1 year experience as a foreman or a trainee, right? Or assistant to certificate boiler attendant. Maybe electrician or a foreman. He should work as a trainee. Earlier we call it the what you call locomotive boiler and the train. We call Gallanguru boiler done, right? You know, maybe knowing ship and the train, right? Locomotives were the steam engine came, and after that they used the to transport train and the boilers to get steam to operate the even the still boilers, ship engines are there, right? Steam. And similarly, if you go to the class 2, right? This one it says class 2 boiler operator means up to steaming capacity 6,000, right? 3 year here means 1 year you already have. Yeah, already 1 year training, and after that he got the certificate class 3. Now he can apply for a class 2 after another 2 year. Total 3 year experience with the 3 year and the class 3 certificate, he can apply to get this class 2 to operate a medium pressure. Earlier one low pressure, now it's medium pressure. To get the class 2 certificate. Without that, he can't operate. This is very dangerous compared to the driving license of the vehicle. This is motor vehicle. It's not the motor vehicle. You are driving a bomb, right? You are operating a bomb. Therefore, this is very much mandatory. Now, class 1 up to steaming capacity 6,000, right? Up to steaming capacity or this will be right, and must have 6 years experience in attending to the now earlier 1 year training, but the class 3 now it is class 2 3 years. After that another 3 years, total 6 years, right? Then he become with the certificate class 2. He can apply for the class 1 and he will get the class 1 certificate, right? This is the way how they got the class 3, class 2, class 1 certificate to operate a boiler, right? But you may be asking what is boiler book, right? Boiler book available in the industrial safety division, number 90 Javathura. You come there, you can see boiler book, even in the library also in our Narayanpeta labor department. That is our head office. Our industrial safety division is in the Javathura. You can see in the library what is boiler book according to our legislation. Records to be made. This is one paper in that. I don't have time to even read this or what is there. Normally we call the pressure, temperature, and like that. If it is the feed water temperature or there are so many factors to be the record 1 hour or every interval 2 hours, 3 hours. You have to get those for fuel temperature. The boiler room log list boiler operation data that can be used to increase boiler safety and efficiency, as well as identifying a potential malfunction to prevent the malfunction and boiler to be operated smoothly without hammering or the boiler we call knock or the without difficulty, right? Here Now we go to the slides. Various causes of boiler. I'm going to show the pictures now. Before that, I will give these details because I went. I was able to go to India, Pune. They have the what you call IB, what you call the boiler manufacturing industry. There, fortunately, I got the chance. What you call? They gave the offered to go and study there. Nearly 2 weeks I studied there. The Fort Marshall, how they design the boiler and design, manufacturing, and the what you call testing and the operation. All things were learned there. Similarly, the person there, one nearly 40 years experience engineer working with the IBR, Indian Boiler Board, right? In Sri Lanka, we don't have the boiler board. The government is a government. Boiler board means government, this one. And nearly 40 years experience. He came back in Sri Lanka also. And again, we had 1 week program at the University of Peradeniya, conducted the program. At that time, he gave, these are the normal low water level, this is, boiler, flue gas explosion, faulty erection, fire hazards, flame impingement. Flame is what you call impinging the surface of the boiler, internal surface, touching, that means overheating, failure of tubes, idle corrosion, improper feed water treatment, faulty operation, clogged flue gas passages. This is called backfire. No, this will result, give the clogged flue gas passages, right? Because of flue gas, if the flue gas can't pass through by the chimney, it will cause the backfire. Over steam pressure, high temperature pressure, right? And faulty design. Actually, they should start from here. Actually, design, when the design stage is the very first one. But normally, most of the boiler failures, failure mode, failure factors, failure analysis, what you call the failure, the cause of the failure due to in the world 80% low water. Similarly, therefore we have to see that this also, that is caused, what affects the safe operation of boilers. Earlier there are 12 causes, here also 12, one is missing. You might ask during the question time, right? Operation, competence, training, maintenance, design, location, safety system, control system, testing, examination, supervision, management. You may see some words are similar, testing and examinations, but there are two things. Testing done by the authorized person, examinations, we go and inspect whether the authorized person tested the boiler correctly. That's why we ask to keep a copy by the side of the boiler or boiler room. We normally call it boiler house, right? One is missing. You, at the end of the lecture, you may say what is for a safe boiler. Here one is missing. If you are very vigilant, if you are very interested, what you call interestedly, if you listen to the lecture, you will understand. I already mentioned that. At the end of that, I will explain, or you can ask a question, right? What is missing? Necessity of safety valve. Even every human being or the animal also similarly, the boiler is very important. Safety valve. No time to explain. It was almost 6:30. I have to show I have promised I will show the pictures. Then you might ask why this right boiler safety, to prevent accidents and improve productivity for sustainable development. For what? Economic development of the country. If you want to develop a country, you have to prevent accident, dangerous occurrence, and industrial disease. Otherwise, workers won't come back. So again, the goodwill of the industry, the workplace will be lost. Therefore, you see, this is very important. When you go closer to the boiler, specification, I mentioned the model is important, serial number is good, but maximum output, right? This is very 1200 lb This is the very old boiler, right? And this is 1200, less than maybe 600, nearly 500 kilogram, right? Half a ton boiler nearly, right? And built to BS. You see the standard. This is the very important. Built to British standard, right? This is 1986. What is the class also mentioned here? Date here. The hydrostatic test pressure mentioned here. 248. I don't know if visible. You read, you see here. Design pressure 165. You should compare these two. 245 divided by 165. If you divided 245 by 165, nearly approximately 1.5 times. This is for the low pressure boiler, or the, this nearly you say design pressure 1165 mean. This design pressure is the maximum, right? Near any boiler. After that, maximum permissible working pressure, design pressure, maximum permissible working pressure, safety valve pressure, operating pressure. It goes like that. If you divide it by 14.5, nearly 10, or 11 bar. This is a 10 bar boiler nearly, right? But 1.5 it goes to the 1.5 times. You have to increase the hydrostatic means by water, not by air. Cold condition is as it is boiler, is as it is what we call wet boiler. Wet boiler, you fill with the water, went open and all air went out, and close it. All opening, I said first one, all the opening to be closed, and you have to hide the pressurize slowly. The IBR say nearly you have to take half an hour. Slowly you have to increase the pressure. Otherwise you have a problem. You will dislocate the material, and the material dislocation. So inside, metrologically the damage, the material will be damaged. Therefore, slowly you have to increase the pressure. Keep it for minimum half an hour to see any leaks. Right? If the leak is very high, you have to reduce the pressure to the design pressure. And again, if this leak is high, the boiler discarded. You can't use that boiler because boiler is leaking. It's the problem. Therefore, the boiler is not suitable to set it out. You can't emboss the seal. That the material, there should be the seal. As a ASME code, American Society of Mechanical Engineer, the material itself, you have the code, the material, what is the metrology, or what is the content of the carbon percentage they are. The same material boiler to be manufactured, what you call manufactured finally, it should go out from the factory with that seal, embossing seal, to the industry, the person who buy the boiler. You see that this I said that the acetylene cylinder explosion, this is an unauthorized manufacturer. They are producing the what do you call the gas, what do you call acetylene cylinder, right? We will come to that later. Boiler explosion and resistance prevention. Now you see the one first, the boiler explosion at Anuradhapura nearly 2017. After that also there are accidents, but those accidents not so severe. Here I will show that this what happened here is this. You see the this is the what you call internal part of the boiler is come out. This was here is come out, and from the building, the all building collapsed, right? All destroyed. This is called catastrophic failure. This is March 2nd of so it's a confectionery sweet manufacturing. This is another boiler explosion. I will first go through the pictures quickly before 7 o'clock, and we will select some cases. Right? I told you, I'm afraid I couldn't show all the pictures. Anyway, I will first show the pictures. This is boiler explosion at Gaul 2011. Right, you see internal bulge, we call it molten metal like internal, what you call superheated like very high temperature and pressure. And you see here the material here, what happened, right? You could, I think you can imagine what's the temperature inside, no? To what you call melt the steel plate. nearly 5-6 more than 5-6 millimeter. Right, this is boiler exploded Demodare. 3 people got killed, right? Locally fabricated boiler, 2011, right? I will go the same Badulla, this catastrophic failure. You know this part, the what do you call front part, actually this part here, this was thrown away more than half a kilometer to the railway line from this Demodara tea factory. This after the explosion, that is a horizontal boiler. These are tubes here, right? The top part, actually the front door thrown away, also boiler also thrown away to some distance, and top part of the boiler more than half a kilometer to the railway line. This is, you can see the boiler thrown away, and yes, here boiler was moved to some distance because the horizontal boiler. If it was a vertical boiler, you know, mostly in the rice mills, vertical boilers are there. It would have been skyrocketed, right? And this is the boiler, right? I will go through quickly, and we select finally some cases for a case study, right? This is there are 3 people got killed. You know, in rice mills in 2001. This is Polonnaruwa, right? I was compelled to take legal action. Nearly about 7 rice mills, I was compelled to take legal action because there are 3 reasons. One is the accident not reported to the Industrial Safety Division. Therefore, first we prosecute not to obey the law. Not obeying the law, it's a mandatory. Three. What do you call? Nadu nimiti. We call it nadu nimiti. Not reporting, not preventing the accident, section 31, and the scene of the accident disturbed. You can understand. Not reporting first, right? We go through the paper or from the police or the hospital because people died, and we went there, rush from Colombo to there, and we were able to get these pictures. It is the front, here also front part missing. It was skyrocketed to some distance, right? And because of that, 2 people died. The person who sleeping in the buru at the night time, mostly in the rice mill, they parboiling during the night time, right? Here low water, it was alarming. The midnight, he suddenly got up and give the water. That is the very bad mistakes. When the boiler is overheating, you should not give water. You have to stop fire. What do you call? Stop the fire. What do you call? Fuel. This is a biomass boiler, paddy husk they are giving. You have to give stop the. You should not give the water. When you give water, it all become atomizing. All 2.74 megajoules. 1 kilogram become 2.74 mega. Whatever you much give, all become, because all overheated now. It's going to explode. You can stop the, what you call, catastrophic failure. Only the boiler internal will be got damaged because of the overheating. But it won't give the catastrophic failure if you won't give the water. But this person, layman, he don't have the boiler certificate. He opened the water because the boiler is making big noise the midnight because the low water alarm didn't work. Fusible plug didn't work. There are fusible plug come to picture here. Low water alarm and the fusible plug. There are, I will explain later. I will show the picture also. What is fusible plug? And he opened the water. He supplied the water. All water become 2.74 mega, and it was a lot of energy. It's called vapor explosion, and it was all the what you call the boiler house damage. He is missing. Guru and Yatna. He's missing. His body, no parts available. You understand? That much of things happened in Sri Lanka. This is 2001, July 8th. There's another accident, 2000, July 25th, right? I will show that also. This one. This is the one that is skyrocketed, and from Polonnaruwa it went to Kadurvela. This was here, right here. I show you boiler. Same month, less than 2 weeks. That is the 8th of the, what you call, this is 8th, July 8th, this is July 25th. Two boil. In this case, 3 people got killed. This one, only 1. Skyrocketed. The whole catastrophic. The boiler house, the whole rice mill damage, right? Similar. Here, Guru and that boiler operator, all because superheated, no, right? Is missing. Now, until such time, no, his body was not found, right? And similarly, there are so many high pressure boilers and the what you call nuclear power plant. If it is superheated, you can't see the steam. Therefore, don't go closer to that when it's danger, and you may be missing because vast right? Okay, this is the one I told you backfire. This is 2002. This also I was compelled to take legal action when I was in Anuradhapura. In 1997, we opened office, and 2002, May 23rd, Seva Mahal point, right? Backfire. If I have time, I will show you that. I will explain because we are running short of time to this what happened, how it's backfired, and this is the one erection, boiler installing, marshy land in the paddy field. Shanta rice mill, Palugas Damana, Polonnaruwa, right? This was during my time. I was from 97 to 2002. I was in charge of the northeastern. Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Batticaloa, Trinco, Ampara. Most of the boiler rice mills accidents were there. This is the one, the boiler tube, what you call it. Here, one person, what you call burned because of the steam outlet line broken, right? And was burned, and nearly more than 2 weeks he was at the hospital. Layman from upcountry. He's not a boiler operator. No boiler operator in the rice mill. Therefore, this layman working in the boiler as a boiler operator, and he misused. You don't know how to. In case of emergency, now there is a question. In case of emergency, if the boiler going to explode, we should know how to stop this boiler explosion. That is very important point. First, you have to stop the fuel. Then you should not give the water, and you have to release the steam. It is a loss for you. Can't tell. If you use the fuel, maybe losing more than per kilogram, nearly cost 20,000. 20 rupees, more than 20 rupees 1 kilogram steam. But you may be having more than 10,000 kilogram in your boiler if you the steam, but all loss, can't help. You have to release the steam. Stop the fuel, don't give water, release the steam. Otherwise, there will be explosion. There are implosion also. I will explain later. Implosion inside, right? Okay. This the same Shanta rice mill. This is Kadurvela again. So horizontal boiler in the rice mill. This the what do you call it? The shell is called the shell type boiler. This is another 5th mile post. This New Lanka rice mill. Here, all the rice mill collapse, damage from the boiler house, and all rice mills damaged, right? Catastrophic. And you see outer shell available, inner shell missing, inner shell skyrocketed. To go to there, so by the side, then nearly half a kilometer, there was a lake, and the inner shell skyrocketed to the lake, right? This is another. This is the inner shell in the Anuradhapura. Our office was in the BSN Anayaka, Mawat earlier, 1997. We rented a house there. closer to our office. This is in the what you call Jayanti Mavat, this boiler explosion, right? And this is inner part is in one place, the outer part is another place. You see the outer cell. This is the boiler house, all catastrophic. Now you can see the picture now, right here. Outer cell, inner cell, two different places. You understand? From one place to it was skyrocketed to the other land, the next land, right? Okay, we have to go quickly. This one is you have to be very careful when you are testing a boiler, or if the boiler is what you call steaming. You have to be very careful. Uh, uh, if you don't know the boiler exactly, don't go closer to that, because nobody allowed to sleep by the side of the boiler during the boiler what you call night time. They can 1 hour, 2 or 3 hours go and take the reading, no problem, but don't sleep closer to the boiler. That most of the people dead because of the sleeping by the side of the boiler with the buru and the right night time. Boiler explosion, Lanka rice mill, Lenadura. This is 2003. Chartered engineer died because of he tried to adjust the safety valve. Safety valve didn't work because the safety valve capacity is more than the boiler, because it doesn't work. Safety valve not suitable for this boiler. This is locally fabricated boiler. I will show the pictures. Right, locally fabricated boiler. Right, this you can see the pictures here. Locally fabricated in Sri Lanka. This also skyrocketed nearly more than half a kilometer, 3/4 by the side of the closer to the jungle. This is Dambulla Lenodara, right? Here also you see all inside, all nearly damaged, right? Therefore, it's the boiler house. You see the boiler house skyrocketed from here. And you see this here, the same boiler, authorized person, the chartered engineer died, and another two, boiler operator and the Kanakapulle or the Liana Mahathya was close by, all three died. We went on a Saturday or the Sunday, there's a small boiler also there. You know what happened here is a very interesting story here. This we have to discuss. In case when you are when somebody is testing the boiler, if you are close by, you should first test the hydrostatic test, cold test first. What happened? This chartered engineer tried to check the steaming pressure. That means the test pressure. What is the test the safety valve? The safety valve didn't open. He tried to adjust it. He should not do that because he didn't do the first hydraulic test. He didn't follow the ethics. The engineers, as you people are engineers, you should follow the ethics here. Ethics come to picture. Whatever the first, you have to do the first hydrostatic moving check karne. Hammer test, what you call visual test, whether the boiler is corroded or is suitable to do the hydraulic test, cold test. Then only you have to go to the next test. That is called steaming test. He did the steaming test first. There's a trivy test also. There are nearly 5 tests in the boiler. When you are testing the boiler, there are 5 tests. Okay, right. We'll see the pictures. Actually, what he did, if you would have seen this, if you go around this, he should have walked around the boiler. It's called walking inspection. If you should have walked around the boiler, you would have seen this as a chartered engineer. You should have seen it. Welded, it's wrong. The welding was not done. Welding failure. There are so many problems here, and if have time, we will discuss at the end because we are only another 10-15 minutes time. We have to rush up, and we will discuss at the end. If you have any question, this you see, This is the paddy field of the same Lenadura rice mill, the Mulla, not it's a Lanka rice mill. The place is called Lenadura. Right. You see, when we went there was another boiler exploded long ago, but not in the picture. It isn't highlighted. It didn't. Nobody died. No, therefore nobody don't know. No injury, no damage. Only the boiler damage. It's called assets. Only the assets damage that is bear by the owner. Right. Now you see. Now you can see the what you call this part is these are mini boilers to show you and how the internal tubes. Anyway, I told you types of safety valves are there: dead weight, lever type, spring loaded, high steam, low water, and you see that there are safety valve tests also. You should know there are standards, and I told you fusible plug. This is very important. In the factory's ordinance, it says there are limits. You should read the water level. To read the water level, if the pressure of the boiler is more than 40, that means it's more than 2 bar, nearly 3 bar boiler, medium, low pressure boiler. If it is a low pressure boiler, you should have to have, it's better if you have 2 water gauges, water glass, water gauge, you should have the gauge. If the more than 40 psi means there is a danger. In case in this water gauge is damaged, you see the picture I will show you. I will come this one later. First explaining the water gauge here. This was in the boiler here. Where it is, you see it's a water gauge from here to here. You see the level of the water. Level water, how much water in the boiler. Right? The gauge to be guarded by the visual water gauge glass. Water gauge glass to be there. Why? To protect in case this water gauge bursts because of the high pressure in the boiler, because boiler water, hot water is coming to the water gauge. In case the boiler inside pressure increases, the water gauge broken. At that time, not only the water coming out, it's coming as steam. Saturated steam come out. It will damage the operator when he are looking, when he is getting the reading. When he is getting the reading, water gauge glass reading from the water gauge of the boiler, he will damage his eyes. Very sensitive. Your eye is very, you have to be looked after, and you give the priority to your eyes and your face, very soft skin. Therefore, you have to prevent that accident. Boiler water gauge glass burst. You have to put up a water gauge glass to protect the steam come out, water coming out from the water gauge. It's better to if you have 2 in this boiler, only one. There are 2 places here. This will test cock here below to release the all what you call the cooler. We call it cooler or the hardness. There is another factor coming into picture here. In Sri Lankan, if you go to northeast, right, the hardness of the water in Sri Lanka, northeast, a Pavala side, a Pala side, cooler there and hardness and the impurity there in the water, they are not treated. They directly give the well water to the boiler without treating. I told you water treatment is very important. This chemical part is there, but to treat the boiler, it is not the drinking water. The pH value should be more than 7.5 or the 8. You know, if your body also need nearly more than 7, that means we call alkyl water. Alkyl water, bashmika vatura thamai wage sarireta thoni. eat a vada, the more than that is needed for this boiler, not the acidic water. If you give acidic water less than 7, inside will be all corrosion. Lot of problem will be in the boiler, and you destroy. Therefore, you give the alkyl water, better to give more than 7 or 8 pH value, or the less hardness. TDS we call total dissolved in solid, the water treatment. Total dissolved in solid should be reduced to less than 3000 is better for a boiler. If you go to the pressure boiler, or the what do you call the high pressure boiler or the power boiler, even you have to reduce that hardness. You see the water gauge, you need two, like two safety valve also better. If one didn't work, other will be do the job. It is other safety valve will look after the releasing the steam to release the steam. The safety valve is the purpose of the safety valve is to release the steam. Therefore, it's better to have two. If one gauge was not working, is what you call sediments or the inside the mud, you can't treat the every day the same level. If you go to the rice mills or the some tea factory, you see every day, but because they are not cleaning, maintenance, they are not doing the maintenance. Therefore, you can't get the actual picture, actual water reading, what is the level of the water, you can't get it. Therefore, that is very important. I told you 40 psi is very important, and more than that means you also you have to maintain the pressure gauge to be I told you show you the picture. It is better to more than 8-inch pressure gauge. Pressure gauge, feeder mapake, we call it in Sinhala, to be the diameter of the pressure gauge to be more than 8-inch. And I told you the fusible plug here, right? In this fusible plug, here you see inside is lead, right? Melting point is less than the outside material, you know, brass, bronze, and what we call the 65 to 35 ratio. The outside is melting temperature is higher than inside. Inside is lead melt like the fuse in your electricity supply in your home or your building. It melts the high temperature inside the boiler, and high pressure and high temperature melts and open a hole, allow a hole to release the steam and the water to go to the firebox. It open a hole from the boiler to release the water to go to the water and the steam, saturated steam to go to the fire to what do you call in the reduce the fire. Then you are opening already, therefore you open to the air. Therefore, there can't be pressure difference. It's open to the air means atmosphere. There can't be pressure difference means there can't be explosion. If there is pressure difference only, high pressure inside the boiler, only explosion. Like there should be high pressure inside and vacuum created. Right? Therefore, outside temperature, pressure at 1 atmosphere means because of opening these, because of very high temperature pressure inside, it melted. Allow not to explode, preventing the explosion. But you are making a hole in the boiler. You have to remove this one later, and you have to fill up with the lead, and you can use it. Some other new fusible plug, you can use it. There may be 2-3 fusible plug in a boiler, right? Normal boiler, right? Therefore, now you're almost catching up 7 o'clock. If you have any questions, we will discuss now, because more than nearly 1.5 hours we have discussed now. I will show you again the pictures, any pictures or the cases here. If you want to discuss any case here, or if you want more information about this Lenadora rice mills, and you see the water gauge, we get this water gauge and the safety valve as a production production to produce to the code, production, right? These are the evidence. When explode in a clock in a room or in a house, explosion means the clock stopped that time. Similarly, when explosion, the pressure gauge stop there. At that time, we can see the pressure roughly, not the exact, what is the pressure the boiler exploded inside. If this pressure gauge work, if this is calibered, and if it is a correct pressure gauge, calibered one, that's why I told you test connection. And this is siphon you see here, not to allow the steam to go to the pressure gauge, it will damage the pressure gauge. If you allow the steam inside the boiler to go to the pressure gauge, to prevent that you are using the siphon. Siphon in the pressure gauge, under the pressure gauge siphon. To prevent the steam go to the pressure gauge. Also, there is a water there. Already steam came and condensed, now steam, hot water there. And it won't allow the steam to go to the pressure gauge. If you allow the steam to go to the pressure gauge, the dial will be damaged, then you can't get the correct picture. Then you get this as the production to produce to the ports, and the safety valve not suitable to this boiler because locally fabricated. You know, far boiling means 3 to 4, 5, maximum 4 to 5 bar. If the bar more than that pressure means you won't get the rice, right? Because rice won't be there. Or what we ganda. Therefore, parboiling means low pressure, and similar tea factory, desiccated factory. The gadgets you see here, that there are shortcomings here. They don't have two safety valves, they don't have two water gauges to compare it, or they don't have a test connection to the pressure gauge. And other pictures here, this at Anuradhapura, right? This inner cell, outer cell, you see the fire tube boiler, this one, right? Normally, fire tube boilers are used in the rice mills, right? Right. You know what is fire tube now? The tube inside fire is going. Inside the tube, the flame and the fire goes means the fire tube boiler. The water tube boiler means inside the tube, water or steam going means it is called water tube boiler. Mostly the power boilers, high pressure boilers are water tube boiler. You need a very big house. You need a very big, it's like a very big house is called water tube boilers. And the very big capacity. Also, there are other factors there. And if you want to discuss or see these pictures again, any case, if you want to have a problem, if you want to see this backfire, the plug there, the outside exhaust in this outside smoke, it didn't go. Why? They didn't they didn't maintain the boiler. Therefore, the layman he want to sleep, therefore he put more paddy husk, and metadana godak. He put more paddy husk, maybe tanki purola paddy, or filled up with the paddy husk, and he tried to sleep, but he couldn't sleep. He was filling this hole and not allowing the air to go. Therefore, backfire. You see, the combustion, no, it is combustion happening, and you need the air. Didn't allow the air to go inside. Or make a purola dal, nidhi ganda value. At nidhi ganda hambude pichuna. 2 weeks at the hospital, Polanaru. I went to the hospital. He was Tamil. I can talk Tamil and I can write also. I was able to get the statement. When he was in the bed, he couldn't sign. His fingers were, he not educated person, and I was able to get the thumb mark for a statement. When you get the statement, you have to get the thumb mark is for to produce to the court. That statement taken. After 1 week statement, he was died because more than 60% burn. This is backfire. This you see all the pathetic situation in Sri Lanka now. As engineers, are we allowing to happen this again and again? Are you educated people? Maybe a lot of mechanical engineers, because this is mechanical engineer session, sectional committee organized. Are we allowing to do? You are a chartered engineers, maybe fellow. You should use what do you call Hardasakshi කියලා අපිට තියෙනවා නේද? Are we allowing to this happen in Sri Lanka in future? We have to stop it. That's what exactly correctly engineer Chula de Silva and actually the Russell engineer Russell, he is earlier in the secretary IS. He also the person initiated, and they are correctly selected. Are we allowing to happen these things in Sri Lanka in future? We have to, as educated people, as a mechanical chartered engineers, we have responsibility and accountability to stop this type of unnecessary thing. These are preventable. All 99% preventable accidents. All laymen, they are not educated, the employee. They all get the honor. අයිතිකාරය සල්ලි හම්බ කරන්න බලනවා දුප්පත් මිනිස්සුන්ව බිල්ලට දීලා. They are not even training was not given. They were not educated, awareness, nothing. They don't have certificates. They are utilizing them like they are. අර යුද්ධ කාලේ අර දාලා තිබුණේ රාමාරක්ෂක බටය ඉස්සරහට ඒ වගේ තමයි. ලේමන් ලව ඉස්සරහට දාලා boiler operators are qualified. They are not qualified boiler operators. They operate in the boiler. They want to earn money, then they are using their lives. Therefore, as qualified, what do you call, you people are chartered engineers, are we allowing this type of things to be happen in Sri Lanka in future? We have to stop it. Not only in the boiler explosion, other steam receiver, air receiver, gas holders, and lifting machine. So many lifting machines, all are high risk machineries. There are 8 categories under our legislation in Sri Lanka. Therefore, as a qualified people here in Sri Lanka, you have to consider this. Now the time is for you to ask questions. We will allow you to ask questions now because you may be waiting to see the what you call the 7:30 maybe the match starting. Some people may be interested to listen or see the IPL idea, Sri Lankan match. Therefore, anybody asking questions, shall we open the floor to ask questions? If you have questions, what is actually, you are the most important safety device in your company. Think safety. Safety is a value. Give the world the best you got anyway. Right. Anyway, anybody asking?
Yeah, one question.
I have one question.
May I know your name, please?
So could you hear me?
Yeah, what is your name? Are you from boiler industry?
Janaka Perera, I am Assistant Director Technical, Minister of Sport.
Minister of Sports. Are you familiar with boiler?
Yes, I was work with Taj Samudra as a Deputy Chief Engineer earlier.
Okay, good.
Under me. That's what I want to know. You mentioned class 3, class 2, class 1, like it's not exceeding 2,000 class 3, like it's not exceeding 6,000 class 2, like exceeding 6,000 class 1.
Yes.
I just want to ask while I was Taj Samudra, the boiler function under me, but I don't have any authorization like that. But that function under me.
But the operator, I am telling the boiler operator or the boiler attendant.
A boiler attendant must be have.
Yeah, they must have. You also better, if you have the qualification, it's better, then only you can advise them.
All right. Okay.
Without the qualification and the how normally I won't advise.
The thing is, I was actually I am a UK graduate. While I was Denmark, in my house, electrical installation I can't do. I should have license.
Yeah, that's the thing. You also better, that's a, but there's not a hard and fast rule in Sri Lanka But as a qualified person, you are an educated person, you also better you get the license. It's an additional qualification for you.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, then you can, with the authority, you can say, I have the license, and then I can explain you, I can train you, I can teach you, and they will what you call appreciate you and respect you.
Right. Okay.
Because you are a qualified certified person, you have the certificate with you. With the authority, you are giving the advice. Okay.
Thank you
Can
very
I
much.
ask a
Thank you very much,
question?
sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, better you say your name and the industry. Are you familiar with the boiler?
I'm Jayanthar Anatunga. I'm familiar with the boilers.
Okay.
My question is,
Yeah, you are a senior person, I think earlier president, say ISL.
yeah, my question is,
Yes.
now you have said that boiler inspector, the boiler operators,
Yes.
especially class 1,
Yes.
requires 6 years of apprenticeship.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
why can't we have a formal training program to
Yeah.
reduce that kind of thing? Because we have now come out a long way
Yeah.
of the apprenticeship period kind of training. And
Yeah.
also that 6 years may not ensure that the person has got the right training. He may
Okay.
be doing the same thing over and over again. It
Okay.
all depends on the circumstances. Why
Okay.
can't we have a more formalized training
Yes.
program of a shorter duration?
Yes,
Thank you.
good. Yes, good question you asked. This is actually, I told you, this our law in Sri Lanka is very old law, right? 1942, more than 70 years. This all will be what you call, now the new law will be coming. OHS law in all world they have. In Sri Lanka, we don't have, not yet passed by the parliament. OHS Act, Occupational Health and Safety and Health Act at workplace. After that law come, this all regulations will be changed. New regulations has to come. But this now this one is for the layman. You are a mechanically qualified BSc engineer, need not to go all these hardship. They are already have the qualification. They can directly face the situation, and you can get the class 1 boiler directly, because already you have. This is what for the layman we are telling.
No.
Layman.
I'm not talking about myself, but we have NVQ qualifications and things like that. So we can really train
Yes.
people with much less number of years. You see,
Okay,
because
good.
6 years is
Good.
a very, very long time.
That's the thing. Very good.
Yeah.
The new law to come, at that
Yeah.
time, all regulations will be what you call, according to the new law, it should be changed. And according to that, like you say, welding school, we don't have in Sri Lanka. Like that, this is a boiler school. India, I mentioned you, there's one is missing. That is boiler board is missing in Sri Lanka. That similarly, boiler training, the boiler attendant. No, we don't have a training school or the school in Sri Lanka. All to be built up with this new law, and we are expecting those things. Somebody has to take responsibility. Even you say so many times we talked in the ISL about the welding school. Nobody they are not taking the responsibility to build up that. The welding is the most important when the manufacturing the boiler. Similarly, the boiler, the operator, no training school in Sri Lanka. Therefore, these are the shortcomings. Those things has to be built up with the when a country developing, what you call, they are put up in new what you call these schools, what you call the announcing now the schools, the students, they are like that. Welding school, boiler operator school. There are so many technical sites to be come up to you have, as you mentioned, for the NVQ. They can come up. I think NIO, yes, this National Apprenticeship Board, they are already prepared the syllabus for the. I have checked that their syllabus. They are what you call preparing a book called to train the boiler operators. It will come up very soon. They in Sinhala. They are. I go through the Sinhala their syllabus. They have already produced the book. They will be very future, in near future, they will be starting for a very poor students after O-level law. They don't have the jobs, maybe to train them, maybe say as a layman, they're taking as them, and they are training to support their family. They don't have a job. They are no qualification to work other jobs. Therefore, they are going to teach them, and they give the NVQ certificate for the boiler operator with all the technical and the training and the awareness, education, all in single book ISO, and they will be qualified. Those people, qualified people, won't do the mistake to what you call. They will have the knowledge to, in case of boiler emergency, the going to explode. If the boiler going to explode, they know. By their experience and now know how to prevent the boil explosion. That things we expecting. It will come up soon, most probably. Anyway, it's now time is catching up. 7:15. Are there any questions? Very good.
I have a question.
Yes, good. May I know your name, please?
My name is Chandika.
Chandika, from where? Are you have experience?
Yes, previously I was at Quality Latex related to rubber producing company owned by British, but now I am working at CICT. Most important part is this session is lifting equipment, because I am handling rubber tight gantry cranes and QC wire cranes.
Okay, right.
So my question is whether we can the same procedure applicable for thermic boilers also.
Yes, very good question you asked. In Sri Lanka, I told you, then the practice ordinance, they didn't mention about the thermic. Actually, thermic is another additional energy. The oil, oil, it's called heat transfer done by a oil, not the water there. The medium is oil or the fluid. Then the energy, more energy. This is danger than the water. You understand?
Yes.
In abroad, they are checking. That is automatically understood. You have to test it, but not in our law. It will come up with the new law. Thermic boilers also, but in Sri Lanka they are testing, but we are not forcing. It is not mandatory according to the law. These are the shortcomings in the law. Because in the 1940, we don't have a thermic boiler in Sri Lanka. Therefore, the law was, they removed that word. Now we have to think about that. When new law to come, all regulation to be changed. And the law, it says what is the nirnayaka or the dimensions or the explanation to be given by the regulations. Regulasi wala tamai explain karane law එක නීතිය ඒ කියනවා ඒ මොකද්ද කියලා explain in the law, but the regulation says all the what you have to do, the dimensions or the nirnayaka or the values will be given in the regulations. Those things will be come up with the new law. Anyway, it is better to test the thermic boiler because it is more danger than the motor, because the energy is high, calorific value is high. Any more questions, or shall we?
Sir, other question is next session is also conduct on Thursday. So
No. I have so many work because not only one industry, all over the island we have 10 offices, including Colombo or district engineer's office. More than 117,000 industries are there. There are a lot of work to be done for new law. We are preparing now, and there are regulations also doing with our juniors and our functioner and the chief factory inspector engineer, deputy commissioner, all specialists. They are very full gear to preparing these regulations, and we have a lot of work. Anyway, if you ask, you can ask from our most senior person is our engineer Russell De Silva and our Chula De Silva. They are fellow members. You ask them. We will fix up another next date to study about the lifting machines or the whatever the categories of the high risk machinery.
Other thing is, if possible, do the session for the compressor. Yeah, compressor.
Compressor, yes. Anyway, we every week I can't do because I have other work also. Anyway, we will see that with their request. You request from them, from the Chula De Silva or the Russell De Silva, then they will request me. We will have the next session.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anyway, if
Are you
no more questions,
are you willing to take site-based workshop?
yeah, that means we want to visit your place.
Yes. Because the thing is, I have around 40.
Anyway, everything can be done with your request. It is
Okay.
in my handout. It is in my handout. My address there. My email is there.
Yeah.
lgjans@yahoo.com. You drop a mail. You with
Sure.
your request only. Apita balangilla mukuthu kila denda bad.
Even my staff don't know, PPE don't know. That's why I want to conduct
What
PPE. They don't know PPE. They don't know.
Yes.
PPE.
Yeah. You request whatever it is. There are about nearly 27 to 30 topics. My topics are there.
Yeah.
Even the motivation we do, and human potential, human value, and like there's so many things. Even the COVID-19, it has this our law. The fact is on we have health side. How to prevent this COVID-19? We have the things. The research were done, and all details with us. And we will explain that the OHS and COVID-19, there are so many topics, and the productivity, how you get the productivity, how to improve your industry for the betterment of our country, for the economic development, how you improve your industry, and so many things. Then we can be done. Only you request first to visit your place. You drop a mail. It is in my handout. It is in the at the end. You can see here at the end. At the end, I will show you. It is it was in
Got it. Yeah, got it.
This presentation will be there. This presentation will be day after tomorrow. It is in the what do you call? It is in the web, right? It will be in the ISL web or the YouTube. My earlier also I have done 2017 the same topic. This address, the email also there are lgjans@yahoo.com, lgjans@gmail.com. You drop a mail and request to visit your place. We will come and even we can 1 hour enough, 1 to 2 hours enough for awareness. We can, if you need detailed in program, we need half a day program, 3 hour or 6 hour program. We can conduct even training program. Already we are conducting.
Yeah, Mr.
Thank you very much.
So are these training programs on payment basis?
No, all free of charge, but the government won't provide the transport. You have to provide the transport.
Okay.
Because, Sri Lankan government we have a lot of problem, no? Therefore, we now all because of our president requested to do most of the things by free of charge. Therefore, we visit your place and we can do whatever the government we have to support as a educated professional to lift up our economy because of corona we zero now. We have to put up our economy and we have to support the government. And you people supporting government supporting the nation. We do free of charge, but Sri Lankan government we don't have transport. You have to provide the transport. Even if closer to the Colombo city, I can come by bus or whatever it is. It's no problem. That is, transport is not the problem. Your request is the important. You request, we will try to do our best, all free of charge.
Yeah, Mr. Jayans.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Namit De Silva, engineer from Colombo Dockyard.
Okay.
So my particular question is, what we have discussed up to now is for industrial applications. Is there any particular, labor applications for the marine field also, such things?
Marine, even if you are using the boiler, what I told you, there are 6 type of high-risk machinery to be tested and you have to maintain the report. In the marine, if you are using this type thing, if the ship or the boat is stopping in the harbor, that means we call Nanguram Dala Tiyanakota, it's a workplace. When it's voyage, if the ship is moving, it's not coming under our law. If the never move in harbor, if it is stopped in your harbor, that means if the manual worker is working, it is a workplace.
Okay.
It is coming our law. Even in the factories ordinance coming, if the new law to come, this safety for all, even your bus driver, bus conductor, even your communication center, all people, even office people, telecommunication, the electricity, all the new law is safety for all. Therefore, everybody will be looked after. Even the agriculture, the fisheries, now it's not in the factories ordinance. Informal, you know, by the side of the road, there are small workplaces. Informal, all will be looked after by the new law.
Okay, okay, understood.
Anyway, it's closer to 7:30. Any more? If you don't have any more questions, shall we stop here?
Yes, since it's almost 7:30 now.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lakshman Jans, for that informative public lecture.
May I know your name, please? May I know your name?
I'm Rantika Amarasuri. I'm right. I'm Rantika Amarasuri on behalf of Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee. Thank you very much for this informative public lecture, which was an eye opener for all of us who involved in this industry. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Dulini Yasara Mudunkotua to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee. Yes, Dr. Dulini Yasara, the screen is yours.
A very good evening to all of you. As we come close of this public lecture, jointly organized by the IMechE Sri Lankan Group and the IESL Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee, on behalf of the organizing committee, it gives me immense pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for this gathering. First of all, I would like to thank the speaker of this evening, Engineer Lakshman Jans, on industrial safety procedures in high-risk machinery, including boilers. Thank you, sir, for your informative lecture this afternoon on an apt topic as we continue to witness safety is being compromised in practice. We highly appreciate your commitment for this session amidst your busy schedule. A very special thank goes to the chairman, IMechE Sri Lanka Group, Engineer Russell De Silva and Engineer Chula De Silva, and the executive committee of IMechE Sri Lanka Group for organizing this event. I would also like to thank Engineer Lasantha Ekanayaka, the chairman, Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee, Engineer Andika Amarasuriya, and all the committee members of Mechanical Engineering Sectional Committee for co-hosting this event. We also appreciate the support we had from CEO IESL, Engineer Neil Abesekara, and staff of IESL for facilitating this talk in an online platform. I would also like to thank the wonderful audience for making this talk a success with your participation. At some point, we had over 130 viewers, and your questions and comments enriched this session. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you will have a pleasant evening. This session is now adjourned. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.